Hi, my name is Festus Zigby and welcome to my show. So today we're going to talk about why I left New York, right? So I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York City, and New York has been a staple for me, my friends, and everybody that I know since we were born. Just growing up in the city, enjoying the public spaces, public parks, beaches. It's not until I went to Ohio that I realized that not every state has a beach, right? So traveling more, going to Albany, New York for school, being in Africa, going to Miami, and then finally settling in Ohio, I realized that, there wasn't as much opportunity for a college graduate in New York City. So right off the bat, I said, I need to make money. Graduating college, being young and ambitious, the first thing on my mind was, I need money to be made because I spent tens of thousands of dollars on this degree. I was busting my butt in college, working one job, two jobs. Some seasons I had to quit rugby because I had to work in order to pay for rent and just to, survive on my own as a college student. One thing about me is I like that independent approach. I don't like to ask people for too much or anything at all. And, I have uncles, my mom who would tell me that's not the right approach, that I should be more open to taking rather than fending for myself. But ultimately, me wanting to be an independent man caused me to go off to Albany, New York. I was still in that New York City area, still with New York City kids. It wasn't much of a change, and that was great because the culture that we have, the way we speak, the way we go about things is something that I really love, enjoy, and take pride in. But ultimately, just seeing different types of people, getting out of that New York City environment where the black population is normally impoverished communities. And I'm not just saying like the apartments look bad or anything like that. No, they're actually pretty clean for the most part, outside of the piss in the elevators and staircases. Just like California, violence has always been high, and you do become a product of your environment when you're young and ambitious. You're also young and prideful. And being in that type of environment for me wasn't the best outcome for me, because you'll run into those girls who'll say, oh, you're not a tough guy because you didn't do this and this and this. And you don't want to be around people who make you fall into those type of traps, make you become what you are trying not to be, right? You leave that for the fake tough guys. A lot of fake tough guys in New York City. So really the main thing for me was money. I think mostly why most people are leaving is because of the money, because there's some benefits to being in New York City, like the train station. It's a cheaper form of transportation. I just bought a $15,000 car. It's a great car. I love it. Take pride in it. But at the end of the day, that's maintenance costs, that's insurance costs, I got full coverage. I'm a young driver, things happen. Got into 2 accidents this year, so glad for the full coverage. But ultimately, cost of living. I'm paying $1,000 to live here. People buy homes and pay $700 a month in rent. So that's the next step, is really to buy a house. If you look at my channel, you'll see a lot of videos on buying houses. My uncle's owns 3 properties. My cousin now owns 1, and my other uncle also owns 1. So I'm trying to get into that business as well. This channel is mainly about stocks and things of that nature, but I really need to diversify further. And so you'll see that in the coming years, in the coming months as well. In the next 8 to 9 months, you'll definitely see more properties on this channel. So I was able to get a job with Amazon right away. I did get an offer in New Jersey. I felt like that was a good opportunity. But being around more professionals, more successful people who look like me, coming to Ohio, I was able to do that. Atlanta is another one. Texas is another one. Places that I want to travel to real soon and check out and invest in. And you know, I don't want to be somebody who's really tied down to one place. I want to be able to go to Florida, Texas, and Atlanta, as well as Ohio, several times a year. So for me, it's really to have that money to be able to do that, to have the money to be able to invest in those places. You need to first solidify yourself somewhere, and New York didn't allow for me to do that. So, you know, as an ambitious person, already having goals in place, already having things in place, first you need to get a job that will pay you. Recently, I separated from Amazon, and I was able to land another job that even paid more right away. So not even a week later, already got another offer in Albany, New York, as well as Ohio. I decided to take the one in Ohio because of travel costs and expenses and things of that nature. Me not having to travel saved me easily a minimum $800 and a maximum probably $2,000, not including rent and places that I was going to live and things like that. So I ended up investing the difference in a couple channels that you'll see later. You'll see my investment portfolios definitely went up. So yeah, New York City opportunity for young college graduates is just not there. There's way too many people in New York, way too many people graduating. I decided to go to a SUNY school rather than a community college because I wanted more people in a higher population workplace. So basically in the community college you may see 50,000 students, but in a SUNY college you'll see 100,000, 150,000, and definitely more alumni, more graduates. Albany University, it was between Albany University and Buffalo State. I applied for Albany University first in my sophomore year, and before I applied to Buffalo State, I wanted to know if I got accepted by SUNY Albany. 2 days before I was about to apply for Buff State, I got an offer from SUNY Albany, and right then and there I rolled with it. And I never applied for Buff State. In 2 days I would have applied because I did call SUNY Albany and I asked them, hey, did I get accepted? I see that the deadline has closed, and they said they couldn't confirm anything on the phone. So I kind of felt like I didn't get the acceptance, but just a couple days later, came in the mail, congratulations, you got accepted, and the rest was history. Graduated from SUNY Albany, working 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs, and right away I went back to New York City. I worked at Pizza Hut and White Castle for literally a month and a half. I quit both jobs within that time frame. I quit White Castle first. Pizza Hut was only giving me 8 hours. I applied to be a private school teacher for several locations. It was super late because I graduated in August, and I did make it to the second round of interviews twice, but unfortunately I did not get the job. And from there I landed a spot with Blaze Pizza. I was getting like $17 an hour at Blaze Pizza, and when I initially started, about 48 hours a week. So I was making high 35,000 a year, living with mom, and you know, did that for like 6 months. I got my Amazon offer and I left right away. I got the Amazon offer within 2 months of being in New York City. So in that month and a half when I quit White Castle and Pizza Hut and started working for Blaze Pizza, about 15 to 30 days later I got the Amazon offer, and then I just waited until January 2020 and I was out of there. Fast forward to now being in Ohio, some key differences is taxes. I'm not gonna pay as much in taxes. Key differences is poverty. You still see homelessness, but not like you would see in Manhattan. Probably run into a homeless person, 3 homeless people in 2 to 3 weeks. It really depends on what area you're at. For example, if you go to Manhattan in New York City, you'll see tons of homelessness. If you go into the subways, you'll see homelessness everywhere. Trains will smell of someone who hasn't showered in days, weeks, or months. Again, just piss everywhere. With the housing in Ohio and people really owning their homes and people really, owning the places that they live, they're taking care of it. They're making sure that everything looks good. There's not even trash on the street. You're not gonna see a cup on the street, right? Because that lowers the value of their property. And you want everything to look good. You want everything to be in place. This is the first time people are telling me, "Hey, spend $10,000 here, and we'll invest that at 8% for you, so that we can do some crowdfunding on this property," things of that nature. So if you're not one to go and invest in your own property right away, that's an avenue for you. That's an outlet for you. I'm talking to real estate agents who have investments within the properties that they're selling for $500,000 and they're 30K in. It's just an amazing experience. Things that I would never hear in New York City, because a 2-bedroom is $500,000. And that was back when I was like 7. Now I'm seeing 2 bedrooms go for 1.8 million, and anything less than that is beat up and needs a lot of work and repairs. And then construction in New York City just takes forever. They take their sweet time. If you're not somebody who's done a lot of construction work, which I assume most people aren't, due to the high cost of living in New York City, you probably renovate 1 or 2 properties in your entire life. It's just not worth it. So main reasons why people are leaving now: opportunity, number 1. People my age are buying houses in Atlanta, Texas, Ohio, just to have that freedom to be able to do whatever they want to do, to drive and not pay $500,000 in car insurance. That's an option now, right? I'm paying less than $200 for car insurance, full coverage. Outside of car insurance, affordable housing, not relying on food stamps and housing assistance and things of that nature, which prevent you from buying cars and traveling to find better jobs. And I see people with bachelor's degrees who are doing home health aid. Like, how are we still doing that? There has to be progression. There has to be a willingness to be better. There has to be something more than the environment that keeps you there. Something more than a lively group of people that keep you there. Something more than your friends, because at the end of the day, it's going to be your family. It's going to be your financial stability that keeps you afloat. Your friends aren't going to pay your bills for a year. Maybe you got cool friends like that, but again, as an independent man, it's just very difficult for me to ask for help. So you got to go and get it yourself, and I've been able to do that. So, going to Ohio, tax returns is going to look pretty good. Car insurance looks great. I'm paying off my car this month, so the whole $15K is done, sealed, and paid for. Being in New York City, probably wouldn't be able to do that. I would have been paying $400 more in rent. I'd have been paying $400 more in car insurance. That's $800 a month more out of my pocket. And with, let's say Biden wins the election and taxes go up, I wouldn't even be able to think about that. How do you live on a medium earner's salary in New York City? You can't. Let's say you make $50,000 a year. how do you live in New York by yourself? I know people making 90K and they're, you know, sharing a 2-bedroom with somebody else. I have a 2-bedroom here for myself. You know, I could turn my 2nd bedroom into an office space, but I'm not that big yet, so I'm just chilling, you know. I could turn that into a recording studio. I make music from time to time. You know, I just use my master bedroom, relax, hang out. Sometimes I have social gatherings in my place, and you know, hang out with friends who are grilling outside in their backyard and things of that nature. Like, and the only thing I really miss about New York City is just the ability to go outside, find a basketball court in the open space, and play basketball. Now I go to like gyms and stuff like that to do that, indoor gyms and things of that nature. I'd rather be out in the open just playing basketball to whatever time, and you know, staying fit, staying active, and really just enjoying myself. But I will say money is better. So one reason to leave New York is definitely always going to be taxes, money. Violence is not as important to me right now, but I'm sure is when I have kids and things like that, and family that I want to protect and care for. Like my little brother, he wants to get out of New York City right away, and I really hope that he does as soon as possible. Obviously, I got space for him here, so when he's done with high school and he starts college, if he decides instead of going home to New York City, when he's done with college, just come to Ohio, he can do that. My older brother is doing that as well, spending his time here because he doesn't have to be in the city at the moment. So like, people don't want to be in New York City. Everybody's talking about leaving, some are just talking, but like, I've left. You know, don't plan on coming back at all. At all. Like, if I didn't have family, I wouldn't even visit. You feel me? So I do have friends in New York City that I do visit from time to time. You know, it's not expensive to just take a plane ride, round trip, $200, you know? So I'd rather do that than to live there and spend $800 a month, you know? And, you know, there's just more opportunity, more success, higher paying jobs for young adults such as myself. I can gain experience and gain money, promotions, things of that nature. So yeah, less violence, more money in your pocket, no piss on the streets, clean the sidewalks, opportunity, great people helping you understand more about property investments. I'm a big stock guy. I've been into the stock market and crypto and all of that stuff. So to learn more about real estate is a big step. YouTubers, a lot of them are in Ohio right now, and it would be great to link up with them and know more about the real estate market and learn more about what they're investing in and how I can get on that same track. So like, one of my cousins, they want to be retired by 30 years old. I'm 23. Obviously, I got a nice head start. Very, very independent guy, just getting things done. And yeah, a lot of people aren't going to Ohio. They're going to places like Texas and Atlanta. People that I know. I do know a lot of people going to Austin, Texas to avoid state tax. So that's another thing. Florida, no property tax. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing to do in New York City right now. It's a dead zone, so you're paying the extra stuff for no reason. And I'm sure some people will return back. COVID is over. Some people may return back, but some people are gonna realize, hey, I'm saving 10% somewhere else. I saved so much more money during COVID that I didn't even think was possible in Ohio. I can't imagine, like the difference is night and day from New York City to Ohio living. I've saved thousands of dollars just being here. So I won't go back to spending thousands of dollars to live somewhere else. It's just not going to happen.